Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another horror movie night. Tonight, I will be reviewing Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, released in 1986. Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives stars Thom Mathews, Jennifer Cooke, David Kagen, Kerry Noonan, Renee Jones, Darcy DeMoss, Vincent VegaFaro, Tony Goldwyn, Ron Palillo, Alan Blumenfeld, and C.J. Graham. Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives was directed and written by Thom McLoughlin. Now, this one followed Friday the 13th Part 5, which was quite a disappointment for some, due to the fact that Jason was not really a factor in it. And his character, was basically just in dream sequences, and that's all he was. So, in this one, you got the return of Jason Voorhees, and he is played excellently by C.J. Graham. He's probably my second favorite Jason of all time, next to Ted White from the final chapter, which, as I've said in the past, is my favorite of the Friday the 13th films. But this one probably is a close second to the final chapter. And part of that is because C.J. Graham is so good as the undead version, the first time he's undead in this. But it also is helped by a new Tommy Jarvis, this time played by Thom Mathews. And whereas in Part 5, John Shepherd was just bland and boring in that role and just didn't have any life to him, Thom Mathews has got so much charisma and coolness factor to the character that it never had before he was in the role. He made the character of Tommy Jarvis a super cool and super interesting character. Even though his dumbass is the reason that Jason is revived to begin with at the very beginning of this movie. And also, Thom Mathews' chemistry with Jennifer Cooke as Megan Garis is incredible. I mean, those two just click off of each other so well. And I don't think that it would have worked for Jennifer Cooke working off of John Shepherd if he was reprising his role from 5, because he just did not have that chemistry. David Kagen is so cool as Sheriff Garis. I mean, he doesn't believe Tommy at the beginning of this, much like a lot of these horror films whenever they're told by someone that there's a big threat and everything, and the threat is so unbelievable like this. But eventually he does start to believe him and everything. And it's a little too late, but he does become a really cool, kick-ass character by the end, and basically gives his life protecting his daughter, which is admirable. I was such a fan of this character that I named my sheriff character in the Chameleon Killer films after this character. Megan's friends, Paula Sissy and Court, Kerry Noonan is likable as Paula, and Renee Jones is pretty likable as Sissy. She would gain more fame later when she would join Days of Our Lives, playing the character of Lexi Carver, the future wife of Abe Carver. And I remember that series, watching her on that after this, and I was like, wow, she's got a really good role in this. Unfortunately, she's not on it anymore. Her character was killed off. Like many of these soap operas, characters die and actresses just leave the show and stuff, But, yeah. But another standout in this film was Vincent Guastafferro as Deputy Rick Cologne.
Megan, don't clown around.
I'm not the one with the funny red nose.
You better do as she says. Because wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
It is really ironic that these two actors just recently have played in actual fan films with the Never Hike Alone series of films. And the reason I think those films are so successful, Vincent DeSante does such an excellent job directing those films. And the reason I think they work is that he was able to get Thom Mathews to come back and reprise his role as Tommy Jarvis in those fan films. And, in Never Hike in the Snow and Never Hike Alone 2, he was able to get Vincent Guastafferro back to play Rick. This time, he's the sheriff, no longer a deputy like he was in this one. But I love how those fan films connect to this film. And it just works so perfectly. You have some smaller roles in this by people that would go on to become a little bit bigger stars. Not huge, but bigger stars. Tony Goldwyn is in this, playing Darren. And he would go on to play a memorable role in the film Ghost, as well as other things. But Ghost was his big thing, where he's playing alongside Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. So that was a big, part for him. And then Alan Blumenfeld would go on to play other roles as well. He plays the character of Larry in here. And wasn't quite as big as Tony Goldwyn, I don't think, but he got some pretty memorable character roles down the road after this. And then there was another actor in this that was known for a television series, pretty much. He was popular for that, and that was Ron Palillo playing Alan Haas in this. He was known for Welcome Back, Kotter. So the whole film, as directed by Thom McLoughlin, has a more fun feel to it. It doesn't fully take itself seriously, and it, for the first time ever in a film like this, it actually made the characters self-aware of horror movie tropes and all this stuff.
Darren, we better turn around.
Why?
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Something that Scream would come along and duplicate later. But it's because of this film, the groundbreaking coolness of this film with Thom McLaughlin's film here, that a film like Scream and films like that could happen. This film is... it's not as violent as some of the other ones because the MPAA was on their stupid fucking kick of, censoring the kills and everything. So you get some stabbings, the weapon being thrown at someone. The most bloodiest kill we get in here we don't even see it really fully happen, and that is the character of Paula. Basically, all we see is blood just splattering around the room, and then we see her be tossed out a window and then yanked back in, and then, of course, when Sheriff Garis and Megan check the room later, they see it's just covered in blood. So she really got massacred bad. I don't know what she did to piss off Jason to have deserved such a treatment, but but yeah, that's the bloodiest of them, and it really isn't that bad, just because it's like you don't even see it happen. Really, it's mostly off camera. So, but yeah, it even with the detriments of the special effects being muted and everything, it's still one of the better films, just because of the story and the acting in it. So, like I said, I mean, Thom Mathews is amazing in this. C.J. Graham is great as Jason. Jennifer Cooke is adorable as Megan. And, of course, David Kagen is really good as Sheriff Garis.
Tommy Jarvis is a very sick boy.
Oh, how do you know, Dad? What'd you do, take his temperature?
Better watch the smart-mouthing young lady.
So, my final review of Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives, from 1986. I will give this film a 8.9 out of 10. It is almost, I think it is almost as good as the final chapter, just not quite. What holds it back, I think, is the fact that the gore is so lesser, and it just doesn't feel as close to the final chapter as what it should have been. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And, as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button to become a Dark Knight fan. Hope you will join us tomorrow for another Dark Knight Films night. Until then, thanks for watching.